the NBA Finals finally wrapped up as the Warriors win their 4th title in 8 years. Now, I want to give all the credit to Steve Kerr. He did a tremendous job. Steph Curry had a great series. Klay Thompson did as well, once he finally got it going. Jordan Poole had a great series. But I really want to focus on what Draymond Green was capable of doing after that turnaround from his mother tweeting out that I don't understand why Draymond's playing so bad. Draymond turned it around. He's the lifeblood. He's the heartbeat of that team. And it's well deserved. It definitely is. But I want to focus on the Celtics' point of view. You can't turn the ball over 20 plus times a game and expect to win. You can't do that. That's just sloppy basketball. Missing timely shots. And let's first go back to Game 5 to begin. Game 5, the Celtics were shooting 29% within the first 2 quarters. Only scored 39 points. Their first 3-point shot that they made was in the halfway through the second quarter. They had missed, I think, they were 0 for 12. That can't happen. Especially if you're a team that prides itself on shooting the 3 ball. You can't shoot 29% when Steph Curry is shooting 0 for 9 from 3 and only scored 14 points, and yet you got beat by 10 because you guys could not figure out how to score. You had 39 points in the first half. Like in Game 6, you had 39 points in the first half as well. It's surprising because the Celtics only scored 76 points if you add up those two, or 78 points in those two the first half of Game 5 and the first half of Game 6, where the Warriors scored 108 points. They outscored them by 30 in both games if you combine the first half total. It's concerning. They turn the ball over, and I get it. People say it's Marcus Smart is the problem. He's not a traditional point guard. It's not that at all. It's the fact that you turn the ball over because you're trying to force feed the ball to Jaylen Brown or trying to force feed the ball to Jason Tatum, where you have other players that can do it. Now I get it. In Game 6, the bench for the Celtics was terrible. They couldn't play at all. They were they were just awful. They couldn't defend. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't score. It was ridiculous. The Celtics never tried to get the ball to Al Horford, who was getting guarded by Steph Curry since Game 4. And yet when they would, it was like Al was afraid to shoot over Steph for whatever reason. But when they officially started to give the ball to Al a little bit and let him do his thing, he sparked a spirited comeback. Because in Game 6, you're up by 12 within the first quarter because you don't turn the ball over. But then it was like a 17-point swing where the Warriors go down 12, they score, they come back and they're up 17. And you're like, what? And then at one point they're up 22 in the third quarter where the Celtics bring it back down to 13. Then the Warriors go make it a 23-point deficit, and now the Celtics bring it back down to 9, and then they never got close after that. It's concerning. And I said this during the game in Game 6. What Boston has to do in the offseason is focus on stop turning the ball over. 20 turnovers a game, you're not going to win. They got out-rebounded by a smaller team. They got out-physicaled by a smaller team. The games that they won, Games 1 and 3, they weren't out-physicaled. And yet Games 2, 4, 5, and 6, they were. It's ridiculous. A Celtics team who hadn't lost back-to-back games in the playoffs, and really since January, lost 3 in a row to a Warriors team that was smaller than they were. that weren't as physical as they were. If you're the Celtics, you're ashamed that you turned the ball over that much. You should not have allowed that to happen. You should not have allowed any of that to happen. You should have been far ahead, yet you turned the ball over. You missed timely shots. You were scoring off. You were bad. You didn't get to the free throw line. And when you did, you missed. That can't happen. And if you're the Celtics, you gotta find a way in the summer to find a way not to turn the ball over. Because that's how you're gonna lose ball games. That's why you're not a champion. Where the Warriors, yes, they did turn the ball over. But they're the Warriors. They can score like 20 points within 2 minutes. They had like, I think they had at one point scored 10 points within like a minute and a half. Like, it was ridiculous. Not even a minute and a half. They scored like 10 points. They went on a 10-0 run within a minute and a half. The Warriors can turn the ball over because they can score quickly. If you're the Celtics, you can't afford to turn the ball over, and that's what happened. That's how you lost the series. But again, congratulations to the Warriors for winning the 4th title in 8 years. But Boston, get your act together.